Hi everyone, this is Jelena from Amazonia BBC. Thank you for watching today's video. And today's video we're going to explain everything about the product titles on Amazon. Why are they so important? How can you make them work for your brand awareness to raise your brand awareness on Amazon, and exactly what are the best practices, some of them that we have discovered in our work with our clients. So we wanted to share the wisdom over to you. Make sure you stick till the end of this video because there's going to be a lot of value shared today. Basically, the product titles, why are they so important? Everyone's been talking about them and we received a lot of questions from our clients. How can they optimize them and why do they need to do this? And basically, when you scroll to the search results page, like I'm doing right now, you will notice that there are four common elements that appear on each of these results here on the page, which is product image, the price, the reviews, and the product title. So when it comes to these four elements that are common for every result on the page, product title is the one that's the easiest one to change and 100% in your control. When it comes to the price, like for example, the price, you have to adapt to the benchmark, or compared to the competition to be similar to their versus their prices, and you have to adjust the price according to the features of the product and the problems that it solves. And like, you don't have 100% control over it because it will have really big impact on the ranking, so you can't like just like that change it. When it comes to the product reviews, then you have to just have a long-term strategy and like apply it over time, and then wait for it and continuously work on it, and then expect results months after you have done the appropriate action. When it comes to the product images, then you have to call for a photographer and schedule a session and then pay a lot of money to get that changed. But when it comes to product title optimization, this is one part that's really easy to change. So you should definitely look more into optimizing it, especially because that's the one that's 100% in your control. So make sure you do that today, right after this video. In order for you to do it right, then you should be following some of the best practices that we'll share later on in this video. So when it comes to product titles and these four elements in general, you should really focus on all of them, actually, because these are the main drivers of traffic to your listing. So once there's some relevant traffic that your listing has showed up for, then basically you need to make sure that you ensure to maximize the clicks, the click-through rates through to your listing. And everything that happens after that click is dependent on all the rest of the product listing optimization, how you optimize the rest of your listing. But when it comes to product titles, then this is the part that's really in charge of ensuring you that one click that will drive that initial interest to your listing. So make sure that you do this today. What are the main items that you should look for in a very well optimized title? I have separated this one listing that I thought was really good to show you as an example of a good product title. Basically, when it comes to product titles, there are three things that you can use in your listing that you should use in the title, which is your brand name as the first thing. The second thing would be the core keywords, and the third thing would be modifier keywords. So I'm going to explain a little bit more detail each one of these so you can understand what the ideal structure of a product title is. So the first part being a product brand name, which is, in this case, we have a brand called Melanie that sells bed sheets and bed sheet sets. In this case, this is the bed sheet set, and the brand name is Melanie. As you can see, this seller used their brand name at the beginning of their product title, and they have a very good reason for it. Before you consider doing this in your own product title, you should really understand whether there is a search volume for your brand name in some of the tools, like keyword tools such as Merchant Words, Helium 10. Try any of these tools to see if there's some kind of search volume attached to your brand name. If there is, then it would make perfect sense for you to place it at the beginning of the product title, simply because it will generate a lot more interest in front of customers who have typed in your name, and they're obviously looking for your brand, they're looking for your products on Amazon. So you have to make sure that you appear every single time that they're searching for you. So this is the main reason why we advise using brand names at the beginning of product titles. That being said, you have to understand whether it truly applies to you. If there is no search volume attached to the brand name, you're a new brand, newly established, looking for brand presence to expand your reach in your target markets, then you should really double check whether it makes sense to use this brand name in your product titles or it doesn't. Because if you don't have a lot of search volume attached to your brand, then the likelihood of this being useful to you is very, very small. You have only up to 200 characters for the limit as a limit for product titles. Amazon has only limited it to 200 characters, and there is even less for some categories. So you should really make sure that you use every single space that you're given, every single character you're given, and make it worthwhile. So if you don't have like a strong brand presence, then use this space instead of your name, put some relevant core keyword in there to make sure that it's going to help you rank for the most important keywords. And then when you build your brand on longer down the road, then you can ensure that you can surely put it in there. So make sure that it does apply to you. That's the first rule. Second rule would be using core keywords in your product title. Core keywords are highly relevant keywords that also have a lot of search volume. So these are like, for example, if a product is a bed sheet, then a keyword such as bed sheet set would be 100% core relevant keyword. As you can see, they're Amazon's choice for the bed sheets phrase, which means they are very highly relevant for this type of keyword, and this only explains why they're using this phrase bed sheets in their product title. So right next to your brand name, make sure you choose at least you should choose like a couple of keywords that you consider 100% relevant for your product. Like for example, 4 or 5 variations. Out of these 4 or 5, choose one and use it in the product title right next to your brand. What you will achieve with this is to get ranked for that one core keyword that will be your most important keyword that 100% describes what the product is, and then put all the rest like either in the bullet points in the product description, in the backend search terms. There's plenty space for you to organize where you will put the rest of the keywords, especially the synonyms. If there's a synonym to what your core keyword is, then be sure to use it in the backend search term, because you obviously want to get ranked for it too. But what you shouldn't do is overstuff your product title with keywords, because that gets penalized by Amazon. Don't do that. So once you have chosen what your core keywords are and you have a strong understanding that these keywords are generating a lot of search volume, then what you should add next to your core keyword are modifier words. Modifier words are all kinds of words that are descriptive about the product. They should tell a little bit more and describe what the product is, what are product's unique selling propositions, the features and benefits of using this product, and something that will help you stand out from the competition. If we look at a brand name and core keywords, these first 2 elements, they are in charge of getting your product listing ranked, getting it out there on the search results page. But when it comes to the third element, the modifier words, they're there to help your listing get that initial one click. They're here to help you, once that your product already is on that search results page, to drive attention and to get that initial click. So this third part, like as you can see, this seller actually did a pretty good job here. They mentioned that this is a brushed microfiber bedding, that this is stain resistant, hypoallergenic, 4-piece, it's a queen size bed sheet, it's white in color. So they're using all of these descriptive elements. If you have, for example, a product that has some special ingredient, then you can add this as a keyword, as a modifier word. Or if there is a certain size, like I mentioned here, this is the size and this is the color. There are 4 pieces in it. So any kind of descriptive text about your product that will additionally help you stand out from the competition would be considered a modifier word. And this is not something that necessarily has to have a lot of search volume, simply because you're choosing high search volume keywords for the first 2 elements, which is brand and your brand name and the core keyword. And then you have all the rest, these modifier words that help you, actually generate the click. It's not their main purpose to drive your listing higher, to rank it higher, because the first 2 parts of the product title are actually doing this. So make sure you focus on what can actually bring your listing, the initial click to your listing. You only have, let's say, up to 70 characters of visibility. I know I mentioned there are 200 characters, but a lot of users, there's like 70% of Amazon users that are preferably using mobile devices. So make sure that you optimize for mobile and that the first 70 characters say it all if possible, because that's all they can see when they're scrolling down on their mobile devices. So make sure you optimize it for mobile. Like, for example, this seller here in this page, they have 60,000 customer reviews. I'm pretty sure that they have tested it all. They know, they continuously test, and this is the result of their continuous tests. This kind of product title is 100% optimized. This is how it looks like, and you can see that it's not like stuffed with keywords. I don't think that even 200 characters are being used here at all, because they don't need them. They probably tested it out. So that's another key takeaway that I wanted to share with you today. If possible, make sure to test and continuously test not only your product titles, but also everything else, especially the images. They're very sensitive to testing. So since the focus of this video today is product titles, I'm going to talk to you about product title testing. If you are a brand that doesn't yet has so much sales velocity like these guys over here, and you are much slower collecting data, and you need more time to come to certain conclusions with A and B testing, there's this really cool tool called PickFU, and they are practically helping you to do ad copy, not just ad copy, but all kinds of split testing for marketing purposes. And they, for example, you can give your audience 2 choices, whether they like the first product title or they like the second one better, and they will choose that. And usually you can do this really fast to get that feedback information. And this is something we use a lot in our practice every day, because it helps us understand, especially for bigger brands, what it is that the kind of copy that we should use, or whether this image works better than the other one. And this tool is really great, especially for brands that have a very well-defined niche, simply because then you can like segment audience by certain factors, and then filter out the ones that you don't want opinion from. Just focus on the ones that actually you really care about. So there's a lot of useful features. Definitely check it out. And if you are a bigger brand like this one, then you maybe won't need that kind of additional tool, simply because you can test it live, and you can quickly collect more information for yourself. But in any case, when it comes not only to product titles, but to everything related to product listing optimization, it's all about testing. It's all about continuously testing out what works best, because the market is a live thing and it changes a lot. So you have to keep up with all of these changes, and stay up to date and continuously change, and be adaptive. So these are the brands that survive longest, are not the ones that have just one thing altogether they work with, all together. They update continuously and they change, they adapt according to the market, which is the secret to their success. So continuous split testing would be something to think about. So let me just quickly go back to the character limitation. I mentioned that there's 200 character limitations that Amazon has recently changed this summer. And some of the categories have even less characters to work with. So we're going to attach to the to the video description, we're going to attach a link to Amazon's. We're going to attach the link to Amazon's basic rules for category guidelines. So make sure to check it out and read from the right source if you need it. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully it was very useful, and stay tuned. We'll record the whole series of product listing optimization videos. Each one of these videos will have its own specific purpose and in details explain every part. So the next part would be either product images, either bullet points. We'll just really focus on one topic at a time and hopefully provide a lot of value to our viewers. Talk to you next Tuesday. Bye bye.